Okay, I'm back. Now we'll talk politics. I personally do not feel, and I don't mean to be to give false hope for those of you who would hope for this. And everything I say is for entertainment purposes only. My intuition, not fact. It's also, I don't wish anyone harm. I'm just giving you my intuitive thoughts on politics. So I don't feel that 45 has much longer. I have months. I get months. And this was a video I was trying to make, but I couldn't upload because I had stuff going on, or just the audio was bad. So the last couple days, I think since last Thursday, I've been trying to make this video. But yeah, I don't think he has long. And I think I wrote in my community board that when the Supreme Court gave him full immunity, they gave him full insanity, and you could see it. And they're literally, in my opinion, for entertainment purpose only, and I won't say that again, but for this especially, I'll say it, they're killing him. By giving him full immunity, they made him have no more earthly reason to be a good human being and to think that he's immortal. And he is just insane, mentally and physically septic. I keep getting the word septic, like Henry VIII. His brain is septic, his soul is septic, his stomach, his legs, his hands. You saw that picture of his hand that's swollen. It looked like a plastic glove that was blown up. He's septic. He doesn't have much longer. You could see it. You could hear it, the things that he says. He's, snaps at reporters, especially females. He's really, there's nothing keeping him reined in anymore in any normal way. Now, when he was a child, what I got intuitively, that he would, to get attention, and because he was turned into a brat by his parents because they never disciplined him properly and didn't give him that good, healthy discipline and attention. It was not a good, healthy situation that he grew up in. Plus, he had his disadvantages and his own, probably inherited from his father, certain psychological things, right? That came from his father. And then add to that his bad upbringing. And then the affluenza, which is a real thing. We just years ago saw a court case where a kid did something horrible, and he was like some billionaire kid, and they called it affluenza. He had sickness of the brain because of money. The money rotted his brain and took away his decency and morality. And anyway, that's what 45 has. He has affluenza. He has never had any reason to be a good human being. So, okay. As a child, let's say he went to school and he was attention seeking. He's already, kind of a bad kid, but really without proper discipline and upbringing, he's an attention seeker. So the classic bully. So he goes to school and he thinks he's better than the teacher, and he says horrible things to the teacher and disrupts the classroom and hits the teacher, throws rocks at the kids, assaults other kids, assaults the teacher, lies, cheats on tests, etc., all those things. And each time the teacher, the principal, the school said, you need to discipline him. And instead of having healthy boundaries and healthy discipline, his father said, I'm going to sue the school. Because his father himself could not handle discipline and being told, egomaniac, being told that he's wrong. And that ruined 45 growing up. It ruined him. It gave him a false sense of being more important and above the law, and having no laws and no rules. Everyone else has to follow his law and his rules. And then the more that he was not disciplined, the more that he was allowed to do horrible things. And he saw that money ruled, so people didn't really love him, because he could see that money wasn't love. He loved money, but money wasn't love. And he wasn't getting healthy, loving discipline. He knew that he was unloved, and he did more attention seeking. So then he got worse. Attention seeking, bullies, classic case of a bully. and then went into his adulthood, and then he met the worst people like Roy Cohn and then Epstein and others who just served into his holier than thou thing. Okay, so I said years ago, I said that the best thing that could happen to 45 is if he had to go to jail for his crimes, because it would teach him to be a human being. And they didn't do it because he avoided all the people around him. Again, false love, using him for power, using him for money, keeping him out of trouble for power, for money, no love, not real. He knows it's not real love. He knows that he's not loved. So it's that double-edged sword where he has to have everyone giving him the adoration and the respect, and yet he knows he's not loved. And the more they do it, the more he knows he's not loved. So now the Supreme Court, they could have said, you can't have full immunity. And then that made him see that money, again, took away healthy discipline, loving discipline, loving boundaries, and something that would save him. So again, people do not love him. They love the money. They love the power. So then he's rotting inside. Now he has this God on earth complex. He knows he's not loved. Again, I don't mean to repeat that, but that's what's going on. And it's causing his demise. He thinks he's a God on earth, but it's a sickness. It's a sickness inside of him. And it's killing him. So the Supreme Court essentially is killing him. Because now tomorrow, they could come out tomorrow and they could say, you know what, we're taking away your full immunity. Now, here's the thing. Most presidents had immunity, right? But they didn't test the boundaries. They didn't use that. They didn't think, wow, I'm going to be like a king and I could behead people and I could imprison my enemies and, take away this person and off with their head and off with their, like the Mad Queen, Henry VIII. I could get rid of the church because I don't want to be married to this person anymore, and just get rid of them, get them out of my sight, and anything I don't like, I just get rid of it. I don't have to eat anything I don't like, and I don't have to be with anyone I don't like, and I don't have to follow any rules or anything. It's sickness, and Henry VIII died of his septicness and overindulgence and insanity. He died, and that's exactly what's happening to 45. The Supreme Court could come out tomorrow and say, we're not giving you full immunity anymore. We're giving you boundaries. We're giving you laws. You're a human on earth. If they did that, would he be mad? Yeah, they'd be mad. But that part of him that finally was hoping that somebody would stand up to him and say, I don't care about the money. I only care about doing what's right for me and for you. That would start to heal him. But they're not going to do that, are they? They're not going to do that. And he's going to, I believe, pass away it's going to be in 2026. It is months. It's going to be months. Now, the other thing I wanted to say was, again, he has a cult of personality. So when he leaves, yes, we still have people like J.D. Vance and others. But they're going to fall away because they're sick too. And they don't have the cult of personality. And when it really is like they're all in the apple bag, and Frump 45 is the rotten apple. And they think that they're all perfect apples, but they have the rot too. That's what I'm saying. They all have the rot. They're all going to rot too. All of them. So when he's gone, he's the most rotten apple of them all. They're going to rot too, slowly. It's going to happen. It's the demise. If they were wise, they would have just, impeached him, taken him out, and saved themselves from getting the rot, but they didn't do that. Okay, my phone's going to die soon, so I just want to say this too. He is the Antichrist. 45 is the Antichrist. And I'm still shocked when I see, and hardly any, and I couldn't name any names on here. Nobody watching this, obviously. I know everyone watching this is pretty much thinks the way I do, and but it still shocks me when there are psychics or astrologers who say, oh, 45 is helping humanity. Like, how is that possible? He's the Antichrist. I mean, he's providing massive change, yes, but I mean, I guess you could call it that, you get you can't, he's the antagonist who's causing us to become better people, but he's also causing a lot of people to become horrible people. So I don't know. I have mixed feelings on that, but he is the Antichrist. And here is what I was getting about that. Christ is light, the light of love and compassion, the light of empathy, all-knowing love, the light of love. Yes, there was Jesus Christ, and there was a Christ in all different cultures and eras of time, and but Jesus was just a really big human example for us to look at, because he was so human. He was just a guy born to a carpenter and in a manger. By the way, he had to be born in a manger, I got the other day. Now, I don't sit around reading the Bible, but I got that he had to be born in a manger to show that he was so grounded and so of the earth with the angelic animals that it was just pure love and pure groundedness to be born amongst the animals, which are pure heavenly of love, pure love. Okay, so keep going here. Christ, Antichrist.